Okay. Oh man, it's been a while. I'm the spiritual stud,
And I am MT, baby.
and we want to welcome you to our latest edition of Just My Opinion. Sorry that it, excuse me, it's been a long time, but I've been ill and just getting over it. So excuse me if I sound a little weird or clear my throat a few times, but that's where we are. So we're gonna get started. Um, I guess we can start with the shocker report. All right, so we have a new segment. It's called the shocker report, and basically today it's all about ministers.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
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 Is that a shock, really?
That's a shocking thing some of these ministers are doing.
Now that's what's the shock.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's go with the first thing. Actually, you can go with the first thing.
Mm. Well, I got the tea on this minister in Tennessee.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was he was accused of sexually assaulting this young girl.
Right.
Now you know in the church,
In the church.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
they want you to take responsibility for your actions.
Yeah.
So he comes before the congregation
Mhm.
and admits that he has inappropriately assaulted this young girl. They give this man a standing applause.
Ovation. Yes, they do.
A standing applause.
Yes, they did.
Because he admitted, see, that to me, come on now. That's why it's in the shocker report. Because there are some things that, we're in the era of 45.
Yes, we
and
are.
things are upside down world some days.
Yes, they are.
But the fact that a whole congregation of saints
Yeah.
would give this predator a standing applause is just shocking to me.
Well, excuse me. So this guy did this when he was 22 years old. So it's about 20 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he says, well, I talked to her parents and I talked to her and got, apologized for my behavior and so he wanted to come forth. And the thing is, when that found out at that time what he had done, because it wasn't just a little he 22, she's 17, so it wasn't that this was consensual. Get that picture. He asked her if he could take her home. She needed a ride. He told her he'd take her home, right? So he is driving, and when it comes time to turn, he keeps going. And then he makes her give him oral sex, right? Then, after he's done, he gets up and runs around the car. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't even tell anybody about this. So really what you did is something that all these conservatives would be up in arms about, and were up in arms about Bill Clinton when it was consensual. He was married. I'm not saying it was right, but I understand in your minds you thought, well, he's accepting responsibility. Yay! Listen, this guy was a minister. Even though he was 22 years old, he knew better.
Yes, he did.
And he took advantage of her. And he, I don't even know what you call it, but it was sexual assault. Because this child was in this man's car thinking he was taking her home. He drove past where he was supposed to turn, pulled off into some little deserted area, pushed her head down. Okay? She's 17 years old. This is a minister, a youth minister.
It's shocking.
It's shocking. And then he thought, I thought it was okay. I thought it was all over. No, because she's still living with that. She's still living with that. Can you imagine being 17 years old, forced to give somebody oral sex?
Terrible.
A minister
And
at that?
I'm mad at him, but I am so angry with the congregation.
Right,
Because as you sit there and see, we had the same problem with Roy Moore.
right.
You know, a woman after woman had all this evidence piled against him, and we, the jury of the public, were sitting here like, well, you know, trying to figure out, did he do it, did he didn't, you know, did he not do it? The mountains of evidence. Just the fact that this old geezer was kicked out the mall was enough for me.
Right.
Because what old man gets kicked out the mall if you ain't in there harassing the young ladies?
Right.
Okay, so then you heard all these Christian conservatives, black and white,
Right.
coming out defending him, talking about, oh, this is a slander campaign, and you know, blaming everybody but him.
Right.
You know, this is what I can't get with when it comes to the saints. You put these people up on pedestals that they do not deserve to be on.
Right.
Man, simple and plain, he's a man. And he did something terrible, and the response to that should not be applause. I'm sorry. I mean, does that sound crazy or what? We should not be giving him applause for the fact that he admitted to it. He should be getting, I mean, I'm not saying that you would go to the extent of violence or anything like that, but the natural response when someone has hurt a loved one of yours, hurt a child, kicked a puppy, okay? The natural response is not, when you hear of this, that's how I know we're in upside down world.
Well, we're in 45's world. And it's whatever he wants it to be. You know, he's making it, but okay, we're going to go, I'm about to go somewhere else. Squirrel. So let's stay with the shocker. Okay, so after that, then we move on to Paula White. Paula White, I've had a few things to say about Paula. You know, the thing is with Paula is that she is 45 spiritual advisor. And as such, she felt that, you know, I don't know what she felt.
She came out in defense of him from the get-go.
Yes.
When it came to the comments that were said on the bus.
Yeah.
And said that, you know, he was repentant and he was sorry and this and that and the other. And I mean, now it's all over the news media that his lawyer created a whole shell company for what, 24 hours?
Yeah.
To pay off a porn star.
Right.
You know, but this woman, she has been a Trump apologist. And everything else for him, you know, and defending him along with a lot of other evangelicals who believe that he is doing the right thing for the country. And it's shocking.
As we sink further down to the rabbit hole. Okay, so Paula White is asking, I guess it's her congregants, I don't know, but she's saying, you need to send me up to 1 month's salary, because the first fruits belong to God, and if you don't send that to me, you're desecrating what is to be consecrated to God. And I just now she says she contributes a month's pay every year as a seed, so it can grow into, you know, riches. And she's asking them to send, you know, contribute their first. Now listen, I know about tithing. I grew up in church. I know. First 10% is God's. We know this. And it goes to your church, generally. Yeah. So just read what she said. When you honor this principle, it provides the foundation and structure for God's blessings and promises in your life. It unlocks deep dimensions of spiritual truths that literally transform your life. When you apply this, everything comes in divine alignment for his plan and promises for you. When you don't honor it, whether through ignorance or direct disobedience, there are consequences. Let me tell you something. I have heard about these consequences ever since I've been in church. All my little life, I've heard of these consequences. If you don't pay your tithes, somebody somewhere gonna get it. Your car gonna break down, and you gotta pay the mechanic. The mechanic is Christian, so therefore the mechanic's got your tithes now. You know, I mean, listen. To be frank and honest with you,
Please do.
she's full of crap. Now, I'm like this. If your church is out there doing the work, awesome. I don't mind. I give to my ministry. But my ministry is out there. We doing the work. She ain't doing no work. She in his pocket. She's so busy trying to get him forgiven for everything that he's doing, just like everybody else in the White House, trying to get him clarified and evangelized and washed and deodorized and sanitized and whatever else size you can do for somebody who just loves to be in the mud like a pig. You know, you can clean a pig up, but eventually they're going to go right back to the mud because that's their nature. And that's what he is. And for her to really, I'm tired of them. Let me put it like that. I'm tired of these evangelical Christian ministers, all of it. I'm tired of it because you guys have separate rules for what you believe and then what you want everybody else to believe and do.
That's right.
You feel like you said, Roy Moore, these women were out there talking about he's on the cross. That man ain't on no doggone cross. Why? Because he refused to let them remove the 10 Commandments. Because he refused to perform same-sex marriages. That does not mean that he's on a freaking cross. He is not being crucified. That means that he's supposed to obey the law. That's what it means. And he refuses to do so.
There is a certain, and we've talked about this before, segment of the population that does not understand what true pain, persecution, and prejudice is. You know, they just don't get it because how can you get it if you've never experienced it? So it's easy for them to toss words around. Right. You know, it's easy for them to toss the words around like crucified. Do you know how painful crucifixion is? Right. I mean, I'm talking about these people developed ways of torturing people. Right. That would keep them alive the longest amount of time possible. Yep. Medieval torture is what it was. Right. And in order to pierce someone, and literally people think Jesus, now from what I've understand, was pierced in the hands. He was literally pierced between the bones of the wrist. Right. Because that would support the weight of the body. If you had your whole weight of your body in the center of your hands, it would rip through. Right. Right. Painful. See, they don't understand pain. What happened to Roy Moore because of stuff he did? They just throwing words around. Yeah. You know, they mean nothing. Nothing. Oh, Jesus. I'm like you. I'm sick of them. Sick of them. Make me laugh. Okay. Oh, Lord. Okay. Woo. Yeah, they just, I mean, it takes you there, don't it? It does. Every time it takes you there. And you're like, why? Why do you people, why? Like Nancy Kerrigan, why? Why? What is wrong with you people? You read the Bible. You supposedly understand who Jesus the Christ was, is, and is, but I don't see it. I don't see it. You know, you so good with it when it comes to abortion and prostitution and drug abuse and homosexuality and any of that other stuff, you know, fornication. You're good when it comes to that. But let it touch you. Let it touch you and what your beliefs are, and you are done. Oh my God. No, this is not it. No. That leads us into one of our main topic, I guess our main topic. It's okay, calm down. Our main topic for today, I had a conversation with a friend of mine who's trans.
Okay.
And he was in seminary years ago, many years ago, and went through the process. This is before he transitioned. So went through the process of transitioning, left the church, left all that alone, and now we were talking recently about the fact that he is considering going into seminary again with the LDS church. And so, I was like, wait a minute, like they don't like us, like they don't, the rainbow, they don't do that,
Right.
you know?
What?
And so he informed me that many of the churches, including them, had changed their policies back a couple of years ago. And so the whole topic for me is, are we safe to go back? For any of the LGBTQ, LMNOP, XYZ people out there, a lot of us grew up in church.
Right.
Especially if you're black or Hispanic, grew up
Yeah.
in Catholic or, Baptist or whatever.
Yeah.
But a lot of us grew up in church. And a lot of us left the church when we came into our own, and when we came out the closets, we left. In mass numbers, we left.
Right.
And we're still leaving.
Yeah.
They're only clinging on to bits and pieces of us.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, I wonder if it's truly okay for us to go back to these churches.
Okay.
So I did a little research. Now, what you said about Paula White, and we all know Paula White preaches at mega churches.
Yes.
She ain't in them little,
No.
15-member
Oh,
churches.
no.
She's preaching for mass congregations.
Right.
So in my research, one of the first things I found was this man. His name is Tim Schrader.
Okay.
Tim Schrader is a gay man, and he happens to be a marketing consultant.
Okay.
Okay?
Uh-huh.
Now, I'm doing research, and I'm like, okay, what is the policy of this church? What is the policy of that church? Do they openly accept us or what?
Mm-hmm.
And then I ran across his name, and I read his story. And he said that he grew up in the church.
Mm-hmm.
He went to the Pray the Gay Away camp
Mm-hmm.
because his parents thought that would help him because he came out in his teens.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on in life, as we all know, it didn't work. So he lived his life separate from the church.
Okay.
Had a partner, and he was recruited by a group of mega churches. And the article did not list the name of the mega churches. Of course they didn't.
Of course not.
But he was recruited to give, what does it say? Oh, to do a report. Now the report is called Church Clarity. You can look it up, by Tim Schrader. Church Clarity basically is as a marketing tool for mega churches.
I see.
Because see, when we left in droves and numbers, they talk bad about us, aka Chick-fil-A. And all the rest of you business people who don't want us in your businesses, the gay, bakers, the people who bake cakes and don't want to bake cakes for gay weddings and all that. But our dollars mean something to you. And so he basically gave a report on these mega churches about how gay friendly these churches are. And he was hired to do this because he is a marketing consultant. So I just want you to let that dwell in your mind for a bit. Why would a marketing consultant compile a report for a mega church if it wasn't about the money, baby? It's about the money. They need all the dollars. And with so many people, not just LGBT people, but our allies and other people leaving these churches in massive numbers, leaving them with the Paula White's people, and the evangelicals left in the church, because don't nobody want to be around all that, or hear all that, or witness all that, or be abused by all that.
Right.
So, he compiled this report because they are trying to woo us back. They need our money, people. Plain and simple.
Money, talent.
Gay money spends. Yes, money and talent. Exactly. I saw today an old episode of Atlanta Housewives and Miss Lawrence. If you know who Miss Lawrence is from Atlanta Housewives, this was an old episode. And he was having lunch with Sheree. And he said, honey, every place that there is a well put together black woman is a gay man right by her side that put her together. Talent. Plain and simple. They need our drummers. They need our musicians. They need our choir leaders. They need everything else that we have to offer. And they need our money. Mm-hmm.
Well,
very interesting.
this is interesting. I'm going to come back on this because I started reading it and they said, well, we've got some problems with this. I'll be back with this next time.
Right.
Moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So,
Are we safe?
are we safe?
Well, I looked up a few
think
more.
so.
I don't think we are. I looked up a lot of, Googled the churches, and
Okay.
came up with and this is cheating. I apologize. It's really bad research. Bad me. But Wikipedia. I try not to use Wikipedia. But I did my follow-up research, so you got to give me a
Okay, I
little
give you
credit
that.
for that. Okay.
I mean, I start off with Wikipedia. Who doesn't start off with Wikipedia?
It's the first thing that
Yeah,
pops up in Google,
right.
baby.
Then you
Sometimes
go-
you just gotta go there.
And then you look it up. And you're
Right.
Like, okay, no, yes, no. All right.
So this list of churches, I'm just gonna run through them real quick because
Okay.
it'll take me forever. Okay.
All right.
Churches that have changed. What I googled was churches that have changed their LGBT ideas or policies. Okay. United Church of Christ,
Okay.
Affirming Pentecostal Church International, American Baptist, Community of Christ, the Episcopal Church, the Mennonite Church. I know, right? That should have been in the Shocker Report.
That should have been in the Shocker Report.
Presbyterian Church, Unitarian Universalist Association, and the United Methodist.
Now, we know United Methodist.
Now,
Okay.
these are the churches that have changed their policies. Okay? But then you dig into the red meat.
Yeah, there we go.
Baby. So the Mennonite Church says in their, and I read this like their bylaws,
Okay.
the actual laws said that it is for each congregation to decide on their own whether or not they are accepting. So it's not a Mennonite policy.
Right.
They decided it should be left up to the congregation whether or not they want to accept people.
Okay.
And then United Methodist Church, which I found with almost all of these, was like, the disclaimer
Yeah.
on everything, like you go apply for a job or housing, and they have the disclaimer that we don't discriminate against people based on race, disability, religion, blah, 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 blah. Okay?
Yeah.
They basically have thrown this disclaimer into the bylaws that says we do not discriminate
But.
against LGBT people.
Okay.
Big butt.
Okay.
Big booty. Butt.
Injection field booty.
Big butt.
Okay.
Okay. But y'all gays can't participate. You come to the church house.
Yeah.
We won't even say nothing. We won't even say a word.
Look the other way.
You could come, you could bring your partner, you could sit there in the church, you could listen to the sermon. But you can't participate.
You can't hold an office. You can't hold
No,
a position.
no.
You can't. Well, why am I coming?
No.
Why am I coming? What is the point?
Well, my thing is, we have talents and gifts.
Right. And we can't participate?
Yeah, that's what they say.
Well, y'all can have it. Thank you. But that's my feeling. Now, some people don't want to participate. And I understand that. And if you want to, go to these churches, they say, well, you can come. We're not going to say anything. We might look at you all. But we're not going to say anything. And we're not going to say you can't come. But what we are going to say is, don't try to participate. You can't. What? Hold an office, or you can't sing in a choir? Which
Yeah,
one?
all of that.
You can't even sing in a choir?
No, you can't. No allowed, no position.
Huh. Really?
No position.
I mean, that's generally where we are. The choir.
Yeah, but how many of those people are out?
True.
Hmm.
True. Even the flashy choir director ain't out.
Everybody knows.
Everybody know, but he
ain't
ain't out. The organist ain't out. You know. Okay. All right, I got you. Okay. And this one thing. This is not about ministry, but kind of sort of. New Hampshire. They let gay conversion therapy remain legal.
I had something on that too.
Okay, well,
We're right here.
about
We
that.
are right here.
Because you know what? Gay conversion therapy, as you said, with Mr. Schroeder, however you say his name, it don't work. But yet, you still let people put their little kids through this stuff. These children are being tortured. I mean, really, imagine what it would be like for you. If you're straight, imagine what it would be like for you to go to a camp where they said, anytime you think about the opposite sex, we're going to do something to you. And we're going to give you all these scriptures, and you're going to sit in front of the screen, and I don't know what they do there, but you know, these are my thoughts. How do you convert somebody?
What they do.
How do you convert somebody from what they are naturally to what you want them to be? Other than they come back and saying, I'm converted.
It's just like Pavlov's dog. It is, without going too deep into psychology.
Yeah.
If you're training a puppy, I got a doggie, I'm trying to train her. Jesus, that dog. But anyway.
Beautiful. Okay.
She's a sweet baby. We're trying to train her. So you reinforce.
Right.
You give a negative reaction to the behavior. You reinforce positive behavior. They're basically using the psychological profile. But that negative response to gay behavior, if it's against your natural being, is harmful to you.
Right.
It's harmful to your psyche. Because you and so many people still believe, I'm going to hell.
Yeah.
You know, and like you said, I looked up some information. Remember the Exodus program?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Exodus program was a conversion therapy program.
Right.
Well, the guy who started the program came out and said, doesn't work, I'm gay, here's my husband.
Right. Basically.
So they had to shut that down because he publicly came out. But what they did was they changed the program to a new program. It's now called Sins of the Flesh.
Sins of the Flesh.
And what they did was they snuck in gay LGBT people with addicts, all kinds of other people who have some type of addiction problem. And now they're calling it Sins of the Flesh therapy.
So we're addicted. Is that what it is? We're addicted. And
they snuck it in there with the addicts.
So we're going to have a 12-step program.
I didn't go any further than that's the name of it. I don't even want to know what these people do because, see, evolution. I keep thinking that the spiritual mind of people is going to evolve past this archaic society that we live in, and we're going to eventually get to the place where we can start loving each other again. But we got so many, including 45, the Republicans, the Democrats fighting with them. We got so much mess going on.
Right.
It's hard to even think about spiritual things because it's just constant mess. But, you know, I still remain hopeful, you know, because I look at it this way. The progress is coming, even though progress comes slowly, baby.
It does.
I mean, there was a time when they would have never even considered changing their policy to allow us in the church.
True.
There was a time when it was like, no, you're not welcome here. You can't come in the door.
Right.
You know, you better not bring your partner with you, you know.
Right.
So, yeah, that's incremental, very small progress, but yet and still it is forward progress. And there are some churches that are open and affirming.
Mhm.
If you're looking for a church, that's the key word to look for. Affirming. Because that means that it's not just that we will let you in the building, but we will let you participate in the church.
We affirm who you are.
We affirm who you are.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but we've made, and there's a lot of LGBT people who have struck out on their own. I was shocked. I was raised Seventh-day Adventist. Shocked to find out that there was a LGBT Seventh-day Adventist branch off church.
Yeah, there is.
I was like, wow, okay. So, you know what we do? When we can't get none, we get our own.
Yeah, but the thing is, are they still underneath
No.
them? Okay, that's what I was wondering.
No.
Because if they're still underneath them, then that's not going to
They don't
matter.
even acknowledge that church exists at all.
Tone
But-
should be a minister there.
Well, honey. Let me tell
Just
you.
saying.
I'm just saying. Yeah, but I mean, we're change is coming, but it comes slowly.
The only thing that I have to say is that so many people who call themselves Christians live in a make-believe world. And they live in the world that 45 and Fox News have created. They believe all the crap that's being told to them.
They do.
Anything outside of that is wrong. It's unchristian-like. You know, they want to base everything on the Bible except truth. And unfortunately, these people are the ones that the politicians are worried about. Not worried about the majority of the country. It's these people. And as you stated, progress is slow, sometimes painful. It's like digging out a virus. It's slow and painful. It's like that crap that I had. It don't want to let go. And you got to cough it and cough it and cough it until it finally releases and you spit it out. And that's where we are.
Yeah.
We in the throes of the cough.
Yep.
And it's painful. And they are holding on. And then you have people and you're like, don't they see this? Like the politicians, like the Republicans, who saw it clearly when he was running, but now they can't see it. Now it's like, well, I've got to do what I've got to do so that my bill can get passed. But watch out, because just like Doug Jones won Alabama, a lot of y'all coming up, and I know you're not hearing me because you don't even listen, but it's gonna happen. That's why most of them are retiring now. You couldn't pry them old dead hands from the seats before. Now they're retiring. So,
because they see the wave coming. The pendulum, the political pendulum, always swings.
Yep.
One way and then back the other way.
Right.
And it has swung so far to the right.
Yeah.
That it has no choice but
Right.
to swing extremely far to the left.
Right.
And they are clinging on or jumping ship because they already know what's coming. So
Right.
we shall see what happens.
We shall.
But I just wanted to give our listeners some encouragement for this year. That self-love is divine love.
Yeah.
And you don't have to, baby, go back
No.
if you don't want to. If this church has used and abused you, if they won't let you share your talents, look, you don't have to. You don't have to. Go find yourself a church or a group that is open and affirming, that confirms and loves who you are. Stop listening to the negativity.
Right.
Because there are some people whose only purpose in life is to bring you down.
Yep.
That's it. So stop feeding yourself with that information. Feed yourself with positivity. And I guarantee you that it will make your life better.
Yes, ma'am. And think about who you are, whose you are. Because people are going to be people. God never changes.
That's right.
That's all I got.
That's all I got.
Okay, well, thank you for joining us for the shock report. And next time I'm going to come on here with some information. Well, I can't edit that out. So, and I thought about that, but I thought about that, but I didn't know if we could do that. I didn't know how they felt about us plugging them.
We'll find out. And we'll get back with you next
Right.
podcast.
All right. So anyway, sorry. Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
We will see you next time. Oh, just my opinion. I'm a spiritual stud.
And I am MT, baby.
We are out of here. Peace.